And welcome to Couch Talks with PB and J. Yeah,
I like
yeah,
that.
Pat and J.
I actually called my girlfriend that before. I used to say we're PB&J. It was hella
You
funny.
guys 100% are.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's hella funny. And then I always I'm going to start off with this. Growth isn't automatic. It doesn't happen just as time is passing. It happens as we recognize the patterns shaping our lives and choose differently. This is growth is a choice where we explore self-awareness, integrity, and the quiet discipline it takes to move forward. We're not experts. We're just here documenting growth in real time. And today's pattern is going to be comparison.
I'm going to be squirming around a lot, and my squirming is not as. We have quality talks. Yeah, because, we're all here, home.
You with us
I
too.
am performing avoidance. Go.
And that is okay as long as you notice it. Like you notice the pattern, you can always you can stop the pattern, or you can throw a wrench in the pattern, or you can be like, hey, I'm avoiding this right now. But whatever, you can't avoid it right now for this talk. So this is gonna be a good talk. This is gonna be a good talk. Last week was ego and integrity, which I think is somewhat similar, but not the same. So I'm gonna enjoy this. I hope you do too.
I hope we all too.
And I do want to say, I'll say a line really quick. Comparison is interesting because it often feels like motivation, but oftentimes it's actually insecurity.
I agree with that 100%. And one thing that I find myself doing improperly, because I was believing in the idea that, like, oh, don't compare yourself to others. Of course, hard not to do sometimes. And I held this too close to my heart, the idea of just be better than who you were yesterday. Who you were yesterday has already passed.
Mm-hmm.
And I recognize that when you compare yourself to the past too much, where there is this level of self-criticism, this resentment in self,
That's it.
Woe is me, it ain't too shabby, Yeah.
And there could be good comparison. I will say
And
that
I mean
like
that in the
flat
negative
out.
context. Ain't too shabby in the negative context.
Flat out, there is good comparison. Like there is also a way to do it where you're not doing that, but that's where we're trying to hit on is the negative, the negative things that come from comparison. Because you can compare yourself to somebody who's really good, like a master, like somebody who's teaching you something. If you compared yourself to the master, like no, you're not as good as the master. Right, you're
Never
not
compare yourself to the master, man.
or do it, but don't do it in a way that you ever thought that you were going to just be better. All of it, but it should make you feel bad. You should be humble about it. Humility is key. Humility is key.
Yeah,
just knowing that you aren't the best, maybe, is fine. I love challenges. I love people who are better than me at things. I freaking love it. And I've learned to be that way where I want to learn from that person and however it got them to where they're at, right? So I can improve. Wonderful. Which is a little bit different than the self oh my god, I'm not there yet.
Because the comparison concept that I was talking about was when we compare ourselves to who we were yesterday too much. Yes, and where there is a focus on, what we did that was so bad, or our bad behaviors, our negative things that didn't work out, and recently I learned that focusing more on the progress from the past is more important than, I think the word is dwell.
Ruminate.
Yeah, ruminate.
Sit in. Just I don't know this type of thing. Yeah, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly. That's like
I,
that's the one.
I know I'm not alone in this one. Okay. I'm just saying.
And I do want to say this:
Mm.
when we constantly compare our lives to others, we lose sight of the life we're actually trying to build. So, kind of like what you're saying,
Mm.
like you are saying basically, yeah, if you sit and dwell, you
Mm.
are not doing anything to further. Like you are
Mm-hmm.
not growing. You could be growing if you're reflecting and then, noticing things that you're on your reflection to build or something like that. But if you just sit and dwell on the bad without like anything coming from that, that
Mm.
is not good. It's more of like your time stands still, which I
Yes.
think it happens to a lot of people. It's happened to me. Like,
You know what I really don't like? Remember when that teacher or that principal said the phrase, make good choices? Remember that one?
yeah, of course.
I don't like that. It is very accurate.
You know what a good choice is though to somebody else might be if it really hit home with you, that means that you actually thought it was a
Uh,
good or bad choice. Like it's not necessarily that teacher. Like inside, you were just like, okay, was it a bad choice because the teacher said it,
oh,
or
it was more so like it was on the PA system where
made
the
good choices?
principal had like a checkout phrase.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
remember, everyone, make good choices. And I'm like, what? Okay, cool, whatever.
It would be
Yeah, like you
cool.
should.
It would
Yeah, of
it
course.
would be
Yeah.
cool if you knew
But
what his checklist was for what a good choice was. Like
yeah.
that's what I feel like if you knew what he meant by like what a good choice is, it would help me. Like because it's like what is the good choice, right? And you don't know a bad choice until it's already made, type of thing.
Ooh, you
You
talk
know?
about paralysis from analysis.
Yes.
Sometimes overthinking can make ourselves not make actions to learn. Yes, because
Pattern of waiting, right? Like
the pattern of waiting. Oh,
we've already
God.
talked about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, the paralysis of analysis.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I learned recently being too much of a bookworm. Yes, a bookworm. Like just it's it's a beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong, but there is something called paralysis by analysis,
Mm-hmm.
and what was your reflection on that? It was something along the lines of when we like get this freeze where sometimes learning itself can be in its own coping mechanism
Mm-hmm.
to prevent actions to
Mm-hmm.
be learned. It's fine. It's beautiful to continue to learn. I have learned that actions are a part of the learning process.
100%. And they are. They really are. And like even if you read, right?
It's hard, man.
Even if you read, right? Like sometimes you can't even like
Yeah.
use the things you've read yet, right? To a certain extent, and you can ruminate or think about it and be like, how do I put these
Yeah.
things into action? In my opinion, I think that people should go about their daily lives and wait for those moments to come up,
Mm.
and then you'll realize in that moment. And being a bookworm is not bad. Uh, it's
Mm.
not bad at all. I mean, I love books. My brother was a bookworm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very quiet. Would just study,
Mm-hmm.
and he would know most questions. You know what's funny is that I got the same. I would read almost nothing in high
Mm.
school. Like I would read, I would just skim and like hit the bolded words and whatever.
He
And
did quite the opposite. He wrote a book.
I
I'm
did,
going through it. Yeah,
I
it's
I
just
did, but like
as a wormy. Slowly,
but my
yeah,
brother would
slowly.
read every single piece of text, right?
Mm.
And we get the same grades on like quizzes or tests. And I always thought I was
Wonderful.
cheating myself. I'm like, I'm not doing what my brother's doing. He's reading everything word for word, internalizing every word.
Uh-huh.
But like that wasn't me because what I wanted to do was go outside.
Yes.
I wanted to go outside and go do things. I wanted to go experience stuff. I wanted to go hang out with my friends. I wanted to go, to the pool or whatever it was. But I still got all my stuff done, and then
Yeah.
I still did it in the way I felt was successful. He might have got a little bit better grades than me,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't regret it. I don't regret not staying in for 2 hours per
It
day.
don't matter.
You know,
C's get degrees, baby.
yeah, I mean, I was getting good enough for me at least. So like,
That's
I mean,
good.
I
And it
felt fine.
matters.
Like I didn't. In you know, we're talking about pattern of comparison. I'm a twin, so I
Yes, he
always
really is a
had
twin.
a person that literally lived next to me that we could easily compare ourselves to.
Mm.
And it's not like I guarantee my brother did it. I guarantee I did it. But I didn't do it. I never, and I don't think he did it in a way where we weren't just challenging each other to be better at things. Like we were both good at sports because he was bigger than me, right? It made me play bigger in most sports where I was small. Like, and he was a bigger guy. But like when I would go play against other big people, they would be like, okay, well, I feel like you play big. But I was small. So like I was tenacious. So I got that from him, you know, like, or whatever it is. So it wasn't never,
It's a beautiful word.
it was not bad. Tenacity. It was not bad.
Yes.
It was not bad. And so I'm going to go on to the next thing. Comparison usually shows up as, and I can ask you this if you have idea, but I'll do feeling behind because you're measuring yourself to others.
Mm-hmm.
Social media comparison, which is kind of a new one because when I got to college, I think Facebook was popping off.
Mm-hmm. New one, and we're here to get that nuance.
Yeah. Agreed. Yes, but social media comparison, I think, is huge. People just look at pictures of other people and are like, I'm not pretty because this other person exists in the world. And we don't even know if that person is actually that pretty, right? Like, or any, you know, like we really don't.
Nope, I've been learning that the hard way, but I'm very grateful. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. If you know, you know.
One of the ones that I like is timeline pressure. Mm-hmm. So like your friends.
Oh yeah.
Your friends get married at this age. Your friends, or even like your parents did something at a certain time in their 30s. They had kids already, and they'll like put that on you. They'll be like, hey, like I think are you gonna have kids? Blah, 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 blah. You know, whatever. The timeline pressure is fucking real, and I know I've always felt that from different groups and different generations.
Ooh, yeah.
Which go ahead if you have.
You know, that's a timeline pressure. That's a really big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and bravery to have enough self-reflection to be like I know myself enough to be brave enough to try to take the action to express how I feel, because wisdom can be shared, you know, by teachers, coaches, or whatever's out there, but teamwork makes the dream work.
I agree.
And you know, teamwork only works when that's why courage and bravery is so important.
100%.
You gotta speak up.
100%.
You know, being calm, and when you do it calmly, you know, and honest, and we always talk about authenticity. It allows teamwork to be able to be performed, because you know, being quiet in the corner, you know, getting a bunch of knowledge and teaching zero actions, sometimes some doing the most bravest thing is just you know speaking up. And speaking up doesn't have to be in the way of like hey, do this, do that, you know.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't. And you know, the phrase sharing is caring.
Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed. And you know, somebody might not take your advice, right? And somebody, you know, anybody who wants to teach somebody else, I usually like. I mean, I would love to teach people, but people are not. If they're not receptive,
you teach all the time, bro.
But I just understand that I don't have to.
And
and
you do it authentically.
Authentically, yeah.
Yes. I praise you for it, man. It's awesome.
I'm okay if it's not received. Which I think is a lot of other teachers' problem. Is they're like, I'm better. Another comparison, right? Like, I'm above you. You should be taking my advice, type of thing. Which I think is kind of boo-boo. in my opinion.
Ooh.
Like, I think it tells you something as a teacher if you can't take, if someone's not receptive and then you become, not a good teacher, in my opinion.
There's something I learned today there's this really bad saying where like oh yeah, people who can't do are teachers or something like that.
Can't do?
Yeah, if you can't do, you're a teacher. Like, I think that's very very not nuanced, very not.
That's a very subjective statement.
It's very subjective, yeah. And the thing that you said, to quote you, where if a teacher feels above you to the point, I feel I would compare it to the same phrase as that. The
there's ego there. Like, there's ego for sure. Like, you're not really trying to teach. Like, you feel bad if your advice is not taken. Like, something inside you is like, this person needs to take my advice, blah blah blah. Like, you do, yeah. It's like this weird ego. It's an ego trip.
Ego is a drug. Okay.
Yeah.
At this point,
it's gonna exist.
What I'm feeling what it is.
It exists.
Ego is a drug.
Yeah, I mean, it's always gonna be there. Your ego's there to help you, and it's there to see what dangers are and stuff like that.
Healthy self-confidence.
Healthy self-confidence, which actually is very okay. That's like a elusive thing. Like, cause like self-confidence for me would just be is I don't know. I can't easily define it, but it's like that's an elusive thing.
To what ego? Because like ego has such a negative connotation.
It does. Yeah. It does.
So I'm like doing like that positive connotation spin.
Yeah. I like that.
With one word by using 3 words.
Which are not a bad choice.
Positive self-confidence. Or healthy self-confidence.
Yeah, I mean, healthy
whatever that may be.
And not like a fake, not in a fake way. Like, I don't like these masculine, podcasts or whatever. No. And I don't want to name any names. I do have one that popped in my head, but I'm like, because I just like don't understand the psychological. I understand if you're coming from a place of hurt, how like it would basically make you feel like you have more power inside, and at the same time that power is completely inauthentic. The power is completely delusional. It's completely like made up.
That's their lane, and if it does
exactly that's
good unto the world, so be it.
It helps certain people at a certain place.
Good for you.
I feel like it's almost like trying to do a shortcut. It to me, I don't know. It's just me. It's a shortcut. And it's like a shortcut, and you're not going to understand why you're actually doing it, or why this feels good. You don't really. You just missed this whole section here of.
The story of Hercules.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
What's that one song? I could
go the distance.
Most anywhere.
Yeah, it's Go to the Distance. One of my favorite. That is a top 5 song for me. I swear.
Dude, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a top 5 song. And then he's like very weak and like in that moment. It's a great song.
The reason why I mentioned that is because that hero's journey is.
That's the middle part, right? That's what they're missing in the masculine. Is somebody who goes from like somebody who
he took the hard route. Oh wait,
know what I mean?
In the Disney movie,
he took the hard route. Like the people who watch the masculine things. What I'm saying is that like they go from this very weak state that they feel. They watch the podcast or whatever, and they have skipped the hero's journey and gotten to this side, which makes it completely unreasonable in my head. Like, because you are not Hercules in that moment. You're like Hades, or you're like I don't know. You skipped the juice.
Wait, what? Like
the hard part.
Was it John Goodman who was the voice?
I'm not 100%.
Oh my god!
I'm not 100%.
That was a bad joke on my side. Yes. Go.
I'm gonna keep going. Okay, I had one more. Chasing someone else's version of success. So for comparison, chasing someone, and this one happens in my mind more than any of them, is that we all learn, what we think success is based on movies, shows, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Your parents, it doesn't matter. But it's someone else's version. So unless you've really like thought about it, like what is your version of success? For me, I love that you just said Hercules, because it's. But I'll do that with a million shows that I love, right? And I've deduced for me what that is. And I do want to go through the trials and tribulations. I do want to go through the hardships, and I do want to go through all those things. And I don't want to skip steps.
That's beautiful, and I think that's what. Yeah, I don't mean to say as in It's just a speech thing. What you're saying is reminding me of what virtue is, and that's wonderful.
Hard to learn.
Heck yeah, man! Easy, man. Yeah.
I think patience is one that people
don't say that P word. What, man? And what you just said with the quote, it's the knowing your why.
Yeah, for sure, purpose
and remembering it. Oh, purpose, yeah.
I mean, I kind of like.
It's true.
Knowing your why.
He's right. Yeah, your why, purpose, hand in hand. It's a.
Yeah, I know. I got you. So I wanted to say though, what happens in reality is comparison shifts your focus away from your path.
Say that again.
Comparison usually will shift your focus away from your path. So like your why. So even if you had one at a certain point, I think a lot of the times, like you start comparing, and then you kind of start taking the route of what you thought this other person was doing, or what you think you should be doing, and all these different diverting paths that may eventually come back to your path that maybe you thought of when you were a kid, or maybe whatever, you never had one, but you do have one if you look.
Oh my gosh, yin and yang concept. Comparison, and then there's learning from others.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes. And I did the same thing again. Comparison connotation with a single word with 3 words. Not a comparison. Not very fair.
No, I mean, I like that you do that, but like you're basically not making it a negative. You're neutralizing the word, which I think is good. Comparison doesn't have to be negative, but when we're talking about the pattern of comparison today,
it's like getting fresh vinegar and diluting it in water to. I just learned how to. Yeah, never continue.
Well, I was going to say, if you're in a grocery store, it's like sitting there and comparing 2 vinegars and not knowing the difference, and sitting there for 30 minutes and wasting 30 minutes on which vinegar is better. The pattern of comparison is like, just know that they're probably the same. You know what? They're probably the same. The best thing you probably do is whatever's good for you, whether it be like price comparison or you like that brand, just pick the vinegar. Right? You don't got to sit there for 30 minutes and do that. Like, time is valuable.
Actions. We love it. Time is, yes.
So instead, I was going to say, instead of saying, what am I building? We start asking, why am I not where they are? So like when we start doing the why am I not where they are, that you're in a comparison loop. You're in a comparison loop when you start asking, why are we not where that person is? Or why are we not where they are? Whatever. If you start thinking that way, you already know you're in a comparison loop.
Then the question is, then why are we doing what we're doing?
What am I building?
Why
are we doing this? Yes,
and your purpose
exactly.
Is your purpose.
Exactly.
Hey.
Exactly. And and what did you want to build? How did you want to treat the world? How did you want to treat other people?
It's yours.
Yeah, exactly. It is yours. Yeah.
It's okay.
So that is a caveat. I just like, whenever I ask myself, why am I not where they are? I am already caught in a trap. And I did want to ask you what you think comparison, and I ask you this every week, what does comparison protect?
It protects that ego, baby.
For sure. That's one.
Honey boo boo bear.
And even if it's not ego, what else? Do you have any other ones?
The question again?
What comparison protects?
It protects zero progress. It protects the idea of being stunted. It protects stagnation.
And would that be a problem for everybody?
No, because progress is different for everybody.
Agreed.
Yeah, and your progress is yours. Yes. Of course, as long as there is the skill building and the continual self-reflection. And it's
You're
I
okay where you
remember
are.
learning that ego, I don't know if I talked about this one, but it's like something to be swept daily.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we practice good habits and stuff, it's more so of a sweeping, than just you do it once and it's gone. No, it's you gotta sweep the floors every day. Okay, I'm
That's
just saying.
I told you that though. I love doing
Yeah,
chores. Like
you loved
I
it.
do, and it's not
Oh,
about the entire.
I meant that as an analogy.
No, no, no. Because I said it before. Like
But doing chores is good.
I will do the
Gotta keep doing
chores
the chores.
regardless of
Just because you do the laundry once doesn't
the
mean the
space of
laundry's
the house.
done.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's mentally cleansing for me. But
That's
that like
wonderful.
that routine that
Yeah.
is very short, right? It's a
Mhm.
very short thing. But I do feel always a sense of I did what I know I need to do, kind of thing. Like with I can do it with my brain off, which is awesome. But it's like a reset for me. It's like a complete reset. So I don't do it because someone asked me to go clean the house. I do it because I feel good when I do that, even if it's not like
That's
mentally there
yeah.
anymore. Like it's not even mentally there. I feel good when I do it. Like I feel good when I do it. It's just like it's almost like and it's cathartic for me. So and I know it's healthy for me, so I'm gonna keep doing it. No one has to ask me to do it.
It's a form of meditation.
It is absolutely a form of meditation. And I was going to say, monks, they literally, like, one of the first lessons that they
is wash a dish quietly and be present.
It's literally make your bed, sweep your floors, and all of that before you go eat.
And that's what
right?
What the Navy says, or
it's similar to it. It's
like
similar. It's so similar because they got to fold their bed. They got to make their bed, fold their clothes, put their clothes there.
The first action,
yeah,
let it compound.
It does. It does. And I guarantee when they're out of the military, it's something that is retained. They want to do the. It's just it feels good, like to do it, and it could just be the person.
A strong feeling if I ever wake up at 5 a.m. or come back from anything around 5 a.m. If you see like a super jacked gent, just running at 5 a.m., I think that guy makes his bed every morning.
Yeah, probably. And then let's say you want to compare yourself. Please don't feel like you're shit. That's something to like
almost wake up at 5 in the morning.
Right? Like, yes. But if that's like a goal, it becomes a goal, and it doesn't make you feel bad. It's like good. This is the reason I wore instead of a what I wore last week, which was a suit, but like a jersey, yeah, because like it's Steph Curry, Davidson jersey. But when he was in college, I watched him. He's my favorite player. On the Warriors, obviously, he's my favorite player. I'm from the Bay Area, so he's been my favorite player.
Is he a gentleman of Indian descent?
No. Why did you think that?
No reason.
That was hilarious. But no, Steph Curry is amazing. I remember when I was in.
That was a really bad joke.
When I saw him in college play, and I saw him go off like for 30 points, I said he's going to be one of the best point guards of all time. And then when we drafted him on the Warriors, I said the exact same thing. We just drafted someone better than Magic Johnson. Sorry, I still love you, Magic, too. But I literally said that, and my brother heard me say it. I like knew this man was going to be. He played like a magician. Like it was magic. Like I played basketball, so every single thing that he did was magic to me.
Yeah.
But I did wear this jersey because obviously, when you're a player in the NBA or anything like that, you are compared. And there's been times where I've seen Stephen Curry, he's 6'3", right?
Yeah.
people just go, oh, he's not as good as this person. He's not as good. He's not going to be as good as this person. He's no way he's going to be as good as this, whatever. But that's comparison, right? That he did not listen to and now has MVPs, trophies of winning championships, endless. So that is someone who blocks out comparison or use comparison in a positive way in my mind, saying I'm not going to use the
to the
comparison
point where
to
there's other Asians confusing him of Indian descent.
oh, because of curry.
Shit, bro.
Oh my god, I just got that, dude. Like that's hilarious. That was so funny to me. I can't believe I just got that. Is he Indian? Oh, that's hilarious. That is
if you
that
got
was
that
hilarious.
one, your eyes are rolling.
Yeah. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. I can't believe I got that late.
It's all good.
I do. I'm gonna continue. So you did say ego.
Yeah.
So one thing that comparison does in a negative way, and I'm not saying in a positive way because it can work both ways. Status. It can protect against status. So I'm above you, right? I have more money than you, right? That's a negative. It's going to be you're not going to grow when you just think you're better than everybody else. You literally won't. If you're not humble to say I can be better at something, then you won't grow there. Like, no way. I was going to say
just dad.
Yeah, identity is one. It tries to protect comparison. So if you have an identity of thinking that you're better than people, or you have an identity that says, I'm good where I'm at. Whatever. You're going to be stagnant, or you're not going to work in that area, or you're not going to learn from anybody else who may actually be better than you. You're not going to. Your brain just made up that like I'm not going to learn anymore.
Comparison, and then there is because it's just because measurement is just recording data. Yeah, like for cooking, making food. Because when we measure, we want to make quality ingredients. And trust me, there's enough people out here in this world doing comparison concepts or example to quality food measurements. I'm connecting the dots here. Criticisms,
yep.
There's enough critics out there for food, but I don't think that there's enough quality measurements done properly to make good dishes.
And the people who made good dishes, kept going through the critics, ignored the critics. You heard the critics, you heard what they had to say, you took whatever was actually valuable from a critic besides the negativity.
Yeah.
And then I want to make up a new word that there needs to be almost like a positive critic, a critic who not only sees the negative, but needs to also be able to see the positive. And then you're actually doing something. You're going to make that chef better. You're going to make that restaurant.
They call it coach.
Or, okay, but then we have to, then why do we listen to critics on reviews? I want a positive reviewer that is a coach, from your definition.
Critics are just a part of the equation as something to be put in a measuring cup.
Positive coach critic, I wrote it.
Yes, I don't know. I'm the complexities of. Yeah, I'm over intellectualizing.
And then, okay, so I wanted to say, so another one that I had is social validation, which I think is huge. Comparison often protects against social validation because everybody wants to be accepted, right? So a lot of the times if you see and I know I like to bring up bullies, but like a bully would like to put someone down to keep their status of, whatever it is, so that they have an agreement between everyone around.
And agreement to everybody around.
Everyone around sees that, I guess he's right, or whatever, which is kind of bullshit. But it is what it is.
You said it, not me, but I'm just saying.
And I was going to say, comparison is often done in fear by somebody who doesn't want to be left behind, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. But I think it's often.
I think that's beautiful because if that fear applies, then it's probably a sign, within self to be like, maybe, it is too much comparison going on. It's the transition to where when if fear starts to develop
Mm-hmm.
when learning happens, that's probably a sign to take a step back and remember the why.
Well, I'll give you an example.
Please.
So I made like the B team in basketball. That's not the A team, right? In
Mm.
sixth grade, I made the B team,
Mm.
and I remember me and my brother both made the B team. For me, I always did actually want to get better. Not, I mean, to get better, but there was the fear that you would never make the A team or you will never catch up and you'll get left behind, right? So all those
Ooh.
friends that I had that were on the A team
Yeah.
or whatever, that fear actually for me made me better, right? Because I just utilized it and got better. It made me focus and like do the thing. But that fear
Okay.
was there, right? Like, but it could work in the exact opposite
What's the
way.
difference between fear and pressure?
It would be the same in this standpoint,
I see. I see.
right? So but it was like internal pressure that I put on myself to get better, right?
Mm.
Because I had that fear of being left behind
Keep going.
by the other people that were better than me at that moment in time, right? Like I'm already behind that feeling,
Mm.
which I would go ahead and say that it was irrational for me to think that way, but it was automatic. Like it wasn't something that I couldn't not do. And there's people who step up to that occasion.
Yes,
There's
yes,
people
yes.
who step down from that occasion.
I realize fear only works so far.
Yeah, it does. It does for sure.
Because like when you get to that point where fear was the fuel,
Mm-hmm.
you end up in like a position where it's very difficult to even recognize where
It's a fight or flight response. I
yeah,
feel like
like where
you're in survival.
oh my gosh, 100%.
Yeah.
When and then so like even if you got to wherever you are in life and we are all proceeding in our own beautiful ways, it's wonderful. It makes it very challenging to reach that level of self-gratitude, which is what
Yeah.
I keep
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
It doesn't even
Because if
exist.
fear was the tactic or the method, gratitude is the challenge to be, well, I'm just saying, man, being grateful in this world, it works.
It does. It
But
does.
if it was fueled by fear, it makes it very hard every day
It does.
to be grateful.
Unless you do something that's like, for
Like literally write it
a
down on
low
a sticky
percentage of
note and just be
people,
like,
like
be
a low
grateful. Say
percentage.
3 things to be grateful about.
I can.
It's really hard.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like no, because I just remember it, and like I was so happy that I made the A team. Like in the next year or whatever. But I do remember like I had to let go of that survival of the fittest feeling because it just makes you exhausted. Like I just burnt out. Like you just get burnt out if you're always thinking that way. Instead of myself being like comparison, like no, they're my equals. I'm not worse than them. Was a way better thought in my mind. It made me like be able to still do the same things than having that fear comparison kind of going on, because the fear comparison works to an extent, but then you just utilize all your energy. Your energy is absolutely dissipated, maybe to a point, and if you never notice, then you're gonna burn out. Like you're for sure gonna burn out. Like I don't know.
Like for me, the biggest one is like peace and calm. For some folks, that I don't know if
Hard.
it's hard. Like it's scary sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're so used to being on the open seas and experiencing storms.
I gotta
Sometimes
be vigilant.
your ship will be docked in a bay, just chilling next to a cabin. And sometimes when that happens, like, when's the storm's happening? I don't
It's like
know.
no, just chill. It's like just enjoy. Like life is about enjoying the moments,
I'm,
right?
I'm keep practicing it. Yeah.
And if I even think about it, yeah, like from going from sixth grade to seventh grade, it's almost like I did not enjoy those moments. Like it was so fast because I wanted to try out for the team the next year. It almost was like the blur. in my opinion. Instead of me actually remembering the moments that I had with my B team, who now I think about it, I love my B team. We won the championship in the for the B team thing, right? Like, even though the A team didn't win theirs, right? Like,
B team matters.
Well, we won, if I recall, the B team won every single year. There are B team leagues, won every single year, and the A team never won. So like, we always had whatever. So like, I remember being in 8th grade, being on the A team, and being like, I wish I was kind of still on the B team, which is funny because I was like, at least they have fun.
You know, A team had Mr. T in it. B team has Mr. Z. That's so bad.
And I was gonna say this fits in perfectly.
Thank you. If you got that one.
Comparison tricks us into thinking someone else's timeline should be our timeline. Comparison tricks our own thinking into thinking that someone else's timeline is our timeline. Yeah. So I needed to be better at that moment. Like a coach telling you need to be this good or else you're not going to, you know, all that is bullshit. You can still get better, not on somebody else's timeline. Like, and you could be a master later. Like, I don't now see the reason I needed to work myself to death to get to a certain space.
Yeah, because like, and that's wonderful. Like because that coaching style can make people develop into like. I just recently realized that there's something called there's Workaholics Anonymous. Did you know that's a thing?
Yeah.
There's it's a 12-step program.
They can't stop. They can't stop. It's everything.
It's a thing.
And it's like, crazy. Really? Is it everything? Because
yeah, productivity is great, but if you're dying, it don't matter.
At least if you had a why of why you're dying, I'd be okay with it. So if you go to Workaholics Anonymous and you know why you're dying and there's a good reason there, and it's not some weird reason that has nothing to do with you. It's if somebody said generational wealth, I'd be like, that's a cop out. Or no, like it's a cop out.
Or maybe if you don't know why, and you feel
that's a better answer. Yes. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we talked about that one. Yeah, saying I don't know is also okay.
It's absolutely okay. If somebody says that they have all the answers, they're full of shit too. In my opinion, sorry. But I do want to say people have different starting points, different priorities, different paths. So, I mean, so when you're listening to somebody else tell you ever, it doesn't make any sense to me. It better be something that you listen to and agree with and resonate with, not something somebody told you and that you just accept. Like, it's it's not my thing.
If you had a team of a bunch of Steph Currys making naan all day, all right, you're only going to get one carb dish. Oh, wait, what? Bad joke. Okay, bad
No,
joke.
No, it was funny. It was funny.
Teammates a dream.
I'm sure Steph would get a kick out of it. And Steph, hopefully you watch this at some point.
We live in a society where sometimes, you got to tiptoe around, but, like, I'm just saying.
No, I think
honesty is the best policy.
It's pretty funny. And okay, let's move on. And I was going to say the mindset creates pressure. So like you even said it kind of, but like, yeah, the mindset of comparison creates pressure. So if you just feel pressure all the time, like maybe look into thinking that you might be doing that thing. It could be a coworker at work. I don't make as much money as that person, or any. There's a million comparisons. Just realize that
be careful with social media.
Yeah, the pressure you're feeling is from the comparison, and you don't have to do it.
Even watching cute cat videos will make like Susie, your little orange cat, be like, oh, I don't think Susie's that cute.
If you go watch a million cute cat videos, and then you're like, my cat's not that cute anymore. Like, that's rude, right? Like, you mentally just made yourself not think your own cat is cute because you watched a bunch of videos. Exactly. Like, yeah, like it's weird.
You have a beautiful cat. You have a beautiful doggy.
And I did want to say, what do you think are the costs? The costs of doing that comparison, which we've talked about a few already.
Oh, man, dude, hard combos, man. But we do them. Yeah. Wait. Ask me the question again.
What do you think the cost of comparison is?
The cost of
So when you're doing
comparison.
the comparison
It's
thing,
it's 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 ego. No, the cost of comparison.
you're not
Oh,
costing
like when
ego.
you compare, what is the cost?
Yeah.
You compare, what is the cost?
And if you don't know,
Yeah,
I
you lose your identity. You lose who you are. You lose where you started, where you became, who you became. Like you,
you lose your story.
yeah, you lose your story. You lose self-compassion, self-love in a healthy manner. Yeah, I'm not talking about other stuff, but you lose self-love, and that stuff really hits more than home. It hits in the heart. And I'm not speaking, medically. Actually, yeah,
It
that too.
probably does.
It probably does.
And I'll
Yes,
say
it probably
sure.
does. Yeah,
because
your mind and your body.
I was going to
That's
say
the cost.
the number one thing I had here was anxiety it causes, and then that would affect your heart health. It would affect your entire body. And then I have rushed decisions.
Yeah.
I have distraction
Mhm.
from like your own actual path.
Mhm.
Just even thinking clearly. Loss of confidence, which is what you said. And then I got a quote here. Yeah. Comparison pulls your attention away from your own progress. Mm-hmm. If you're comparing, you're not thinking about yourself. If you're comparing, you're using other people as a visual to now compare yourself to them. That means you're not thinking about, am I doing this? Am I doing this right? Yeah. Is this okay? Am I on the right timeline? Like, am I good where I'm at?
Am I on the right timeline?
Right? Like whatever it is, but you got to ask yourself those questions instead of
you can be an
yourself.
Avenger and get away from Thanos and focus on your own timeline by believing in your own path.
Agreed.
I don't know why I said it that way.
I don't know, but it kind of makes sense though, if I think about it. And I love Thanos, by the way. Because Thanos had his own path. And guess what? Thanos didn't compare himself to anybody else. He just did his path.
Hey, at the end of the day, he got a cabin in the woods.
I mean, was he a villain? I don't know. I would call him a...
Okay, during that time period, like, it was really good. The whole time thing, I'm like, but like...
They did their best.
He was a good, bad character. Yeah, there's good... bad characters, I'm not talking about character or virtue, rather, but storytelling. I'm just like, Vader's pretty cool, man. Like when he comes out, I'm like, oh, he barely says anything. The only thing he says is, like,
Luke.
Like, and then you got Kylo Ren screaming over here, throwing tantrums.
Kylo's not that bad. He's not terrible, but no, I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm a Darth Maul kind of guy, who Darth Maul doesn't have to say shit.
Hey, man,
he's all actions.
He's just an edgelord, man.
I love him.
I respect it.
I wish they had like a spin-off of just Darth Maul. Like, I just want to see how Darth Maul. Yeah, how did he get with the two sabers? He's not like the robots with four.
Clone Wars.
I mean, that's his movie, right? With Jar Jar Binks and
no, there's like an animated series.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon, my man. Yes. What was the actor's name?
I was blanking out. I'm like,
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, I was going to say Taken.
You just say Taken, and everyone goes, Liam Neeson.
So I was also going to say that attention is where growth happens. So when you're doing comparison, you've kind of lost your attention. Your attention's now on someone else. Your attention's now in the comparison versus attention on yourself growing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go a little bit quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Because we're about to get unsung heroes next. But okay, I wanted to say, a simple framework is two mindsets. There's a comparison mindset and there's a builder mindset. And for me, that just means that a comparison mindset is others come first, measurement, pressure, anxiety. Builder mindset is you're going to have your own vision. You're going to focus, action, progress. And those are just little That's the way I think about it.
Mhm.
And then I wanted to say my key insight was progress compounds when you stay in your lane.
Man, dude, and that's so important, and staying in your lane is your lane, not
Yeah.
anybody else's. You can choose to, grow your lane
You can use
and
other people's lanes as your lane. Like that's totally fine.
learning, and I think in a beautiful world, it's wonderful to, see people grow in all avenues of life, whether it may be a coach, a student, but seeing coaches, business owners, I learned some, like, what's his name, like, gosh, there's like, what's his, it's like a president, he was a general.
FDR,
No,
Andrew Jackson.
no, gosh, Night at the Museum.
That's FDR or Theodore. It's Theodore.
Theodore
Theodore
Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, apparently he wasn't that very good at presidenting.
Yeah, he wanted to be on his horse and
Oh, oh goodness.
out and about. Yeah. So I mean,
Hey, but he was a great general.
It's also
I'm just saying.
subjective. I wasn't there, so I can't really say. But people loved Theodore Roosevelt. So when they say he's a bad president, what does that mean? He didn't stay in office to go sign a bunch of documents, or...
Yeah, he focused so much on branching out too much rather than staying internal, and did this continuation of like chasing the next thing. Because the phrase, you get enough people calling you a rock star all the time, sometimes you feel like you can start he apparently he did something like a financial firm at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which didn't work out, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was a bomb general, amazing. And I'm not saying branching out is bad. It's just that when you forget where you came from, how in your own progress, to the point where you rush into something next that's new, and there's no, gosh,
No passion behind it.
no passion.
There's no real.
There's no real why. It's just like the next thing, and it's the concept of ego.
Yeah.
Where you forget the why, the path. You just go. And I get it, and I'm not doing that here today, right now. Yes, and and if you have new ideas and you want to start new things, that's wonderful.
Give us ideas, please.
Please, yes. Just go at it gently. Take your time with it, because when we race into new ideas, what will happen is there's this subconscious behavior where when we have good ideas to do in our lives, we just want to do it so fast and so hard, to the point where we fall face down on the floor and see, oh, that's why I don't want to
X and Y, yeah.
X and Y, cook or
start a channel.
Whatever
it is.
Love,
Whatever it is.
do kindness.
Look for
patience.
a new job. Yeah.
Yes.
So I got my unsung heroes list, and it's going to be someone who, and you had a real hero, which I think is awesome. Mine's going to be Steph Curry today, but I do have my list of unsung hero things. Somebody who ignores the outside noise, someone who focuses on their craft, someone who builds patiently, and someone who improves quietly. And I said the strongest builders are the ones not looking sideways. But I do really feel that way. Like some of the people that you look at that are the best at things, they didn't get out of their lane. They didn't look at this other person that was doing the same thing. They didn't look at this person doing the same thing. They just kept doing it, right? Or they kept doing it quietly, slowly, whatever, making improvements themselves. They might look this way real quick and then come back.
Yeah, they'll learn. Yeah.
Which is learning, in my opinion. So I think there's no bad comparison. But if you start going like this and then like, I don't know, just imagine just spidering.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Off the path.
Problem solving 101. Because comparison looks like this when it comes to progress. It's like this, like, boom.
Sideways.
Boom. boom, boom. Even if it's moving upwards,
Yeah, it's going to. Yeah,
the
exactly. It's a
level of
zigzag.
energy to come back and forth. All right, we're talking an ROI of like
Yeah,
4% per year.
yeah, you're
But
right.
if it's just a literal trend that comes up there here, we're talking about that 10%,
Yeah,
baby.
yeah.
The 8 to 10,
Yeah,
baby.
if you think about it, like if you stayed on the straight line, it probably was the best path, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But, and then doing the comparison like this is great, but doing the comparison like this is utilizing a ton of energy, and I bet you that's where the quit just happens. So I'm going to ask you, Jimmy. Comparison is everywhere right now, especially with social media.
Yes.
Why do people feel behind so often? How do they stay focused?
I think there's a difference between like inspiration and comparison, and I think the word is inspiration. To be inspired, to feel heartfelt and passionate about something, I think that's beautiful. When we start to feel left behind, I think that's when it turns into a comparison painful concept.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns what's supposed to be beautiful into something toxic. Like it's like, imagine, I don't know,
Call it grotesque.
Correct, yeah,
Like
when
a
it's actually
mutation.
just really really cool, and it's like you know I don't know, there's a really nice car out there that looks really nice, and then all of a sudden you look at that, and this, you could be like inspired to be like, wow, one day I'm gonna work really hard and save up, pay my dues, take time, and I'm gonna get that car. But when it turns into a comparison concept, it turns into like, oh my
I
gosh,
feel bad.
my
My situation.
my
sucks.
Honda Civic is terrible.
Yeah.
Even my 1992 Honda Civic is terrible.
This is true. I guarantee.
Even though it's paid off,
Yeah.
and it's okay, and it's running, you're okay, it's fine.
But I don't have that Ferrari yet.
I don't have that Ferrari yet. Don't be chasing out there and getting that Ferrari so soon. Like, you'll get it one day.
You don't need it so soon, right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't. And if you were like, that's perfect. What am I actually building? If you were building towards that Ferrari, like it would be great. You wouldn't care about your Honda Civic because your Honda Civic was getting you to work to make money to like blah blah. You'd have that whole thing in your mind, where it's that Honda Civic's actually a great thing that you have at that moment. Not you'd be grateful for it. Not I hate my Honda Civic because I don't have that Ferrari yet.
Oh my! It is the thing that got you to get where you're going to be.
Yeah.
Literally and metaphorically.
It literally
that
is.
Honda Civic is the tool to get you to get
really
that Ferrari.
You should be grateful of that Honda Civic, in my opinion.
And it gets you from point A to point B.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I am going to say your path, your timeline, your direction. And then we're going to close. So I'm going to say comparison will always exist no matter what. Someone else's success doesn't diminish your path.
Yes. You agree? Yeah. Thanks. I'm doing a Blue's Clues thing. Apparently Blue's Clues like apparently there's a Filipino guy doing it now.
Oh really?
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
I know, no, there's nothing wrong with that. I actually just didn't know. But I used to watch Blue's Clues with all their letters.
It was a good show, man. It was a good show.
Thank you guys. Come back next week. We love you.
The love of my comfortability. Thank you for being patient. Okay, bye.
And one thing I did want to say, I'll leave you guys with: comparison pulls your attention away from progress.